Welcome to Learn English podcast.
No shortcuts to success, ***, improve your English fluency. Hello everyone. Whether you're just starting to learn English or you're looking to improve your speaking skills, you've come to the right place. Before we start this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel to get daily videos, and I don't want you to miss any of our lessons. If you ever found yourself staring at a goal, something you deeply wanted, maybe it was speaking fluent English, building a strong body, passing an important exam, or simply becoming a better version of yourself. But the moment you faced the hard work, the daily grind, or the setbacks, you felt like giving up. Maybe you even asked yourself, why does it have to be so hard? You are not alone. We've all been there, wanting the results but struggling through the process. It's a human experience, and that's where the phrase, no pain, no gain, comes in. It's not just a motivational quote. It's a truth that applies to every meaningful achievement in life. Today, we are going to talk about what no pain, no gain really means, not just in theory, but in real life. You've probably heard it before, but you may not have fully understood its depth or how you can apply it to your own life. Whether you're learning a new language, trying to build a better mindset, or chasing your dreams, this principle is key to unlocking your full potential, because the truth is, nothing worth having comes easy. Behind every skill, success, or strong mindset, there is a story of effort, discomfort, and persistence. By the end of this video, you'll see struggle not as something to avoid, but as something to embrace. You'll understand why pain is often the path to progress, and how choosing effort over ease can transform your mindset, your results, and your life. Most importantly, you'll learn how to apply this principle to your daily routine so that you don't just listen to this message, you live it. If you've ever felt stuck, lazy, or tired of failing, this is the moment to shift your thinking. This is the beginning of your next level. What does no pain, no gain really mean? The phrase no pain, no gain may sound simple, but its meaning goes much deeper than just pushing through physical effort. At its core, it means that progress, success, and meaningful growth don't come without effort, discomfort, or challenge. Whether you're trying to learn something new, build a strong character, or improve your body or mindset, you must go through a process that involves struggle, setbacks, and moments of doubt. It reminds us that the path to achievement is not always smooth, but those hard moments are actually what shape us. Without them, we don't grow. Think about it this way. If you want to build stronger muscles, you have to exercise. That exercise causes soreness. That's the pain. But it's not useless pain. That pain is a sign that your muscles are repairing and growing stronger. Without the effort, without the strain, there is no growth, no gain, Now apply the same logic to learning English. At first it feels frustrating. You might forget words, mispronounce things, or feel embarrassed when speaking. But all that discomfort is part of the learning process. If you stick with it, if you keep showing up, the struggle you feel today becomes the strength you gain tomorrow. This rule also applies in personal development. Want to build self-confidence? It takes time, facing fears, making mistakes, and learning from them. Want to become mentally strong? You'll have to go through emotional storms, rejection and failure. But those experiences become your training ground. However, it's also important to understand the difference between struggle and suffering. Struggle is part of healthy growth. It's the effort you put in to improve, even when it's hard. Struggle means you're choosing to challenge yourself because you believe in something better. Suffering, on the other hand, is when you go through pain that leads to no purpose or progress. When you're stuck in the same place, repeating the same mistakes, or pushing yourself for the wrong reasons, the key is to make sure your pain has purpose. If the pain is helping you grow, it's worth it. If it's breaking you down and keeping you stuck, you need to rethink the path. No pain, no gain doesn't mean you should harm yourself or burn out. It means you should welcome the discomfort that comes with meaningful growth. In short, this phrase is not about being tough for no reason. It's about choosing the hard path that leads somewhere better. It's about understanding that the price of growth is discomfort, but the reward is transformation. And once you begin to see pain as a teacher, not an enemy, your whole mindset starts to change. Why pain is part of growth in clear. Growth in every area of life requires a certain amount of effort, pressure, and even discomfort. It may not always be pleasant, but it is necessary. Let's begin with something simple and scientific: the human body. When you lift weights, you actually create tiny tears in your muscle fibers. Your body responds by repairing these tears, making the muscles stronger than before. That soreness you feel after a workout, that's the pain. But that pain is a sign of growth. Without those small injuries, your muscles would never adapt or become stronger. Now imagine if someone only ever lifted light weights that never challenged their body. There would be no pain, but also no gain. In fact, the muscles would weaken over time. That's how the body works. Strength is built through challenge, not comfort. The same principle applies to learning. Whether it's a new language, a musical instrument, or a life skill, in the beginning, it often feels frustrating. You forget what you studied. You make embarrassing mistakes. You might feel slow, even foolish. But what you're really doing is building new pathways in your brain. Every time you struggle to remember a new word in English or fight through a difficult sentence, your brain is learning how to adapt, how to make connections faster. That discomfort you feel isn't a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you're learning. If you only study the easy words, repeat the lessons you already know, and avoid speaking in real situations because you fear mistakes. You will stay exactly where you are. There is no growth without challenge. And again, no gain without a little pain. Now think about emotional growth. This one is harder to see, but it's just as real. You don't develop strength, patience, or resilience during peaceful, easy moments, but you grow those qualities when life tests you. When you face heartbreak, rejection, or failure, it's during those tough seasons that you either break down or rise up. The pain of those moments forces you to confront who you are, what you believe, and what you're capable of. And while it may hurt, that pain shapes your emotional strength, your wisdom, and your courage. People who grow emotionally are not the ones who avoid hardship. They are the ones who go through it, learn from it, and come out better on the other side. And that brings us to one essential truth. Comfort zones never grow you. The comfort zone is safe, predictable, and easy. But nothing ever changes there. If you want to learn a new language, build a new body, create a new life, or develop a stronger mindset, you have to step outside of comfort. You have to be willing to feel awkward, tired, uncertain, even afraid. That's the price of growth, and it's always worth it, because the pain of progress is temporary. But the rewards last much longer. Every time you face discomfort, you give yourself a chance to rise. And over time, those small victories turn into massive change. There's a powerful story about Thomas Edison, the inventor of the electric light bulb. Most people remember him as a genius, but what many forget is the number of times he failed before he succeeded. Edison tried over 1,000 times to create a working light bulb. When a reporter once asked him how it felt to fail so many times, Edison simply said, "I didn't fail. I just found 1,000 ways that didn't work." His story shows us that behind every invention, every achievement, is a series of painful lessons, sleepless nights, and repeated setbacks. He didn't succeed because things were easy. He succeeded because he was willing to go through the hard parts. The pain of failure became the foundation for his gain. Now, let's look at examples you might face in your own life. Take learning English, for example. In the beginning, it can be very uncomfortable. You mispronounce words, struggle to speak fluently, or feel embarrassed in conversations. But the people who become fluent are not the ones who never make mistakes. They're the ones who keep trying, even when it's hard. Every time you force yourself to speak, even if you're afraid, you're building confidence. Every moment of discomfort becomes a step forward. Or imagine a student preparing for an important exam. Waking up early to study, saying no to distractions, reviewing the same topics again and again. It's exhausting, but ask anyone who has passed a difficult exam, and they'll tell you it was worth it. The sleepless nights and tired mornings turned into confidence, results, and new opportunities. Without the struggle, they would have never seen what they were capable of. Now consider someone who's dealing with anxiety or low self-esteem. Improving mental health isn't just about reading quotes or feeling good temporarily. It's about doing the hard inner work. It's about asking tough questions, facing your past, building new habits, and showing up even on the days you feel broken. It's painful, but that pain is part of healing. Every step you take toward peace and confidence comes through a path that is sometimes uncomfortable, but always meaningful. Even in fitness, the principle is clear. A person who transforms their body isn't someone who worked out only when they felt motivated. It's someone who showed up at the gym when it was raining, when they were tired, or when they didn't feel like it. They pushed through the pain, the sore muscles, the temptation to quit. And that's why they succeeded. Their pain had purpose, and that's what created the gain. These stories and examples remind us that the path to success in any area of life is rarely easy, but it's always worth it. Whether you're trying to speak better English, build a strong mind or body, or create a better future, every time you push through the pain, you are writing your own story of transformation. 3 key lessons for you. Lesson 1. Choose growth over comfort. One of the most important decisions you will ever make in life is whether to choose comfort or growth. Comfort feels good in the moment. It's safe, familiar, and easy. But growth lives outside of that comfort zone. It begins when you do something that stretches you, like speaking in English when you're afraid of making a mistake, waking up early to study, or facing a difficult truth about yourself. For example, someone who avoids speaking English in public may never feel embarrassed, but they also never improve. On the other hand, someone who dares to speak, even if they make mistakes, slowly becomes confident and fluent. Growth is uncomfortable, but it's also powerful. The takeaway is simple. If something makes you nervous but helps you grow, choose it. Don't run from discomfort. Run toward it. Lesson 2. Pain is temporary. Growth is permanent. When you're in the middle of a challenge, the pain feels like it will last forever. But the truth is, pain fades, progress remains. Think of someone training for a marathon. The early morning runs, the sore legs, the exhaustion. All of that pain disappears the moment they cross the finish line. But the strength, pride, and transformation they feel after, that stays. In the same way, a student may struggle for months to prepare for a tough exam, but once they pass it, the doors that open, the self-belief they gain, last far longer than the temporary struggle. The same is true in relationships, in mental health, in business, in anything. The pain may be real, but it's passing. The reward, if you keep going, is lasting. So the takeaway is this. When pain shows up, remind yourself that it's just a chapter, not the whole story. Endure it now, and the gain will follow. Lesson 3. Consistency matters more than talent. Many people think success comes from talent, but in reality, it comes from doing the hard things again and again. Even when you don't feel like it, you don't have to be the smartest. the fastest, or the most gifted. You just have to be consistent. A person who studies English every day for 20 minutes will eventually become fluent, even if they start with poor grammar. But someone who studies for 5 hours once a month may never see progress. Similarly, a person who exercises 3 times a week, no matter how slowly, will build a stronger body than someone who trains intensely only once and gives up. Talent may give you a head start, but consistency wins the race. The real transformation comes from small efforts, repeated daily. So the takeaway is clear. Show up, even when it's hard, and trust that every small step is building something bigger. These 3 lessons, choosing growth over comfort, remembering that pain is temporary, but growth lasts, and valuing consistency over talent, are not just ideas to think about. They are principles to live by. If your audience can hold on to these truths, they'll find themselves facing challenges with more courage, and more importantly, turning those challenges into real, lasting gains. How to use no pain, no gain in your daily life. This part is about turning the message into meaningful action. Many people hear motivational ideas, but don't always know how to apply them. That's why this section focuses on short, practical steps and mindset shifts that anyone, no matter their background, can start using immediately. These are not complicated strategies. They are simple but powerful tools that, when practiced consistently, can create real and lasting growth. One of the most effective ways to live by the no pain, no gain mindset is to start with small habits that challenge you just enough to grow. You don't need to take huge leaps overnight. Begin with little steps that take you slightly out of your comfort zone. For example, if you're learning English, make it a habit to speak 1 full sentence every day. Even if you feel nervous or if you want to get fit, start with 5 minutes of exercise. These tiny actions may seem small, but they create momentum. Over time, they build your confidence and discipline. The key is to start, even if it's uncomfortable. Remember, progress doesn't come from perfection, it comes from persistence. Another powerful shift is to embrace struggle instead of running from it. Most people are trained to escape discomfort as soon as it shows up. We quit when things get hard or avoid tasks that make us feel weak. But what if you saw struggle as a sign that you're on the right path? Struggling doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're stretching. When you feel that resistance, whether it's while studying, starting a new routine, or speaking in front of others, remind yourself, this is where growth happens. Instead of saying, this is too hard, say, this is how I become better. That mindset change alone can transform the way you face life. A third simple yet powerful habit is to reflect weekly on your growth. Life moves fast, and we often forget how far we've come. Take 10 minutes at the end of each week to ask yourself, what did I do this week that made me uncomfortable but helped me grow? What did I learn from it? Did I push myself? Or did I stay in my comfort zone? Writing down your answers, even just a few sentences, can make your growth visible. It keeps you connected to your purpose and helps you build awareness. And with awareness comes power. The power to make better choices. Finally, one of the most valuable lessons you can carry is to learn from failures instead of fearing them. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of it. When you make mistakes, instead of blaming yourself or quitting, ask, what is this teaching me? For example, if you try to give a speech in English and forget your words, don't label it as failure. See it as feedback. You now know what to practice. Every mistake has a message, and every setback carries seeds of progress if you're willing to look for them. So shift your mindset. Failures are not the end. They're the beginning of mastery. These for simple but effective actions, starting small habits, embracing struggle, reflecting weekly, and learning from failure, are how you turn no pain, no gain into a daily practice. They don't require talent, money, or perfect conditions. They only require willingness and effort. And if you do them consistently, your life will begin to change. Not because it got easier, but because you got stronger. So here's the truth. If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. Read that again. Let it sink in. Growth never comes from the easy days, the perfect conditions, or the smooth roads. It comes from the sweat, the struggle, the setbacks, and the small steps you keep taking even when everything inside you wants to quit. When you feel tired, when things get uncomfortable, when you're unsure of yourself, those are not signs that you're failing. They are signs that you're exactly where you need to be to grow. Because every challenge is not an obstacle, it's an invitation to become more. Now take a moment and think about your own journey. Maybe you've been afraid to speak up. Maybe you've been holding back on chasing a dream or committing to a goal because it feels too hard. Maybe you've told yourself you're not ready, not strong enough, not smart enough, but you are. You just need to remember this. Pain is not your enemy. It's your teacher. It's your trainer. It shows you where you need to grow. And when you grow, you gain confidence, strength, wisdom, and self-respect. Take the next step. No matter how hard it is, whether it's studying for an extra 10 minutes today, facing a fear you've been avoiding, or trying again after failing, do it. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present and willing. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you are building a life that is stronger, wiser, and more meaningful. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until it's easy. Just start. The pain you face now will lead to the strength you carry tomorrow. That's the promise of no pain, no gain. With that, your message is complete. A powerful journey from struggle to strength, from fear to courage, from comfort to growth. If you'd like, I can now help you format the full script beautifully, or assist with a YouTube-friendly version. podcast edit, or visuals for each section. Just let me know how you'd like to proceed. Before we end, I want to remind you of something important. You can do this no matter where you are right now. Whether you're just starting your journey or you're in the middle of a difficult season, you have what it takes to keep going. You have the strength inside you to grow through pain, to learn from failure, and to rise every time you fall. The path of growth is not always easy, but it is always worth it. And the very fact that you're listening to this message shows that you care, that you're trying, and that you're ready for something better. Believe in yourself, even on the hard days, especially on the hard days. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I truly appreciate your presence, your focus, and your willingness to grow. It means a lot. And I hope this message made a difference in how you see challenges and how you face your next steps. If this inspired you or helped you in any way, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing this with someone else who might need to hear it today. Every share could be a spark of courage in someone's life. And I'll leave you with this final thought. Your future is not shaped by comfort. It is shaped by courage. So be brave enough to feel the pain and strong enough to rise from it. Because the gain is already waiting for you, just on the other side. Thank you for joining me in today. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming lessons. Keep practicing, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next lesson.